Hello, welcome back. Now in this video, we'll be going through the Mathematics Paper 2 from PSLE Specimen paper. And we will go through part of it from question 12 onwards. So this is question 12. You can read the question on your own by just pausing the video. Now, we were told that 25% of the files sold in June were ring files. So if this were to be 25%, that means the files that were sold here, the box file, clear files, and clip files, must form the 75% of the files that were sold. So let me find out that if 75% is 540, the addition of all those files, to find 25% now becomes easy. 75% divided by 3, I get 25%. So 540 divided by 3, I get 180 ring files that were sold in June, and that will be the answer to part A. Of course, many of you would just divide this by 75 to get 1% first, and then multiply by 25. That is fine. Okay. Next, in July, the shop sold the same number of ring files as in June, but more of the other type of files. Did the percentage of the files sold that were ring files increase, decrease, or remain the same from June to July when the number that were sold were the same? There's no working required for this. The answer is simply decrease, but I'll show you a model what that means. So in June, these were the number that were sold, and that forms 25% of the total. In July, the same number was sold, but the same number of ring files were sold, but the other files sold, there was an increase. So this 180 will now form a smaller percentage of this new total in July. So therefore, this must be a smaller percentage since this now form a larger percentage of the total. So therefore, it must be a decrease in percentage. Let's go on to the next question. Now, these three girls use the same number of beads to make necklaces. Davy used 2/5 of her beads, Esther used 3/4 of hers, and Farah used 2/3 of hers. They had a total of 1,440 beads at first. How many beads did each girl use? The key here is they use the same number of beads. So these 2 parts, 3 parts, and 2 parts must be made the same. So this is how the model looks like. Alright, so Davy had 2 out of 5 parts. Esther had 3 out of 4 parts. Farah had 2 out of 3 parts. And this, you notice that there should be the same amount. So how do we see that they are the same? Well, the number got to be the same, right? So you need to change the numerator to be the same across all 3 fractions for comparison. So what I did was, okay, I noticed 2 and 3, they can be changed to a common multiple of 6. So I used 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 3 is 15, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. This 6 now forms the equal parts, okay? Equal part is like this, cut, cut, okay? Cut, cut, cuts, cut, 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 same. Now what's the purpose of doing this? Now I know that the total number of parts of equal parts here will be 15. The total number of equal parts here is 8. The total number of equal parts here will be 9. So the total number of parts across Davy, Esther, and Farah's that represent all their bits at first would be 32. 15 plus 8 plus 9. And that is equivalent to 1,440. I found out that 1 unit is 45. So how many bits did each girl use? Each girl used 6 parts of the bits. So I multiply 45 by 6 and I get 270. Right, and that's the answer for question 13. Let's go to question 14. Now, Mrs. Wong bought a rice cooker for $120 after a discount of 30%. So what was the price of the rice cooker before the discount? So this is the model. So this is the cost of the rice cooker after the discount of 30%. And discount means the amount you do not pay. If this is 30% that she didn't pay, so how many percent did she pay? She paid 70%. She paid $126. So this is equivalent. So I found out that 10% is $18. and therefore 100% is simply 18 times 10 is $180. That's the answer for part A. That's the price of the rice cooker before the discount. Second part, she paid $40 for a toaster. The total discount for the rice cooker and the toaster was $64. What was the percentage discount given for the toaster? Well, the discount for the rice cooker, right, will be 180 minus 126, $54. So this is the discount for the rice cooker. Why am I finding this? Because I know the total discount for both appliances is 64. So I'm wondering what's the discount for the toaster? Well, the discount for the toaster will be 64 minus 54, and that is $10. So I know the price of the toaster before the discount must be the discount for the toaster plus the amount that she paid for the toaster here, and this is the cost of the toaster before the discount. So they will ask what is the percentage discount given for the toaster. I use the I use the discount amount, which is $10, divided by the original price, which is $50, and I get 20%. Let's go on to the next question now. So in this question, we know that at first 1/10 of the tank was filled with water. A tap was turned on for 30 minutes for more water to flow into the tank. It was then turned off. The line graph shows the volume of the water in the tank over 30 minutes. This is 0 minutes. Alright, and this is 30 minutes. Now, I need to find out what's the size of each of these portion here. So now from 0 to 100, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So 100 divided by 4, I get 25. So now each increase here is by 25. So I can see that this is actually 50 plus 25 is 75 here. So at 0 minute at the beginning is 75 liters. That tells me that 1/10 of the tank is equivalent to the volume of 75 liters. This is what I can tell from the graph. Now, how many liters flow in the tank the first 1 minute? Well, so after 5 minutes, I noticed that this number is at 100, right? After 5 minutes, it is at 100 liters. So after 5 minutes, how much water went in? 100 minus 25 is 25 liters of water flow into the tank. So to find the rate, this is finding rates. How many liters of water flow into the tank in 1 minute? So in 1 minute, 25 liters divided by 5 is 5 liters per minute. So that's the rate. 5 liters is the answer. At the end of 30 minutes, what fraction of the tank was filled with water? So after 30 minutes, you notice this, right? I read to you just now, 225 liters flow into the tank. Since we know that 25 liters made up 1/10 of the tank, therefore 225 liters is 3/10 of the tank. Let's use 225 divided by 75, I get 3. So I know here I must multiply by 3 to get 3/10. The answer for part B is 3/10. Third part, the tap was turned on again to fill up the tank at the same rate as before. How many more minutes did it take for the tank to be filled completely? Alright, so if you know the rate is 5 liters per minute, which means in every 1 minute, 5 liters of water goes into the tank. And we know that in the beginning, 1/10 of the tank is filled up by 75 liters of water. Therefore, one whole of the tank, or 10/10, is equivalent to 750 liters. This is the volume of the whole tank. At the end of 30 minutes, this amount of water went in, which means we still need to fill up 525 liters more. This amount is empty. 750, which is the total volume of the tank, minus the amount of water in the tank at the end of 30 minutes is this amount. So this amount more need to be filled. So this, since it's the rate, right? So we know that 525 divided by 5 is 105 minutes more is needed to fill up the entire tank with this amount more. So that's the answer for the last bit. Let's go on to the next question. Alright, now this is a slightly unusual question. So there are 6 rectangular boxes can be stacked into a cardboard cupboard 90 cm wide. What does this mean? So let me just redraw it for you here. So I lay the cupboard on the floor, right? So try to look at these two pictures here. So this one is the same as this, okay? So it's like a cupboard put on the floor, and these are the 6 rectangular boxes. And this is the breadth or the width of the cupboard, as we were told. It's 90 cm wide, so this is the 90 cm part. After stacking these 6 rectangular boxes this way, with this part being one length, this part is one length, this part is one length, right? You cannot fill out the entire length of the cupboard, and you still have a gap of 42 cm. If you, however, you stack it differently, you put the length this way, but here you put the breadth here, the breadth of the rectangular boxes, 4 breadth here. The top part you will leave a small gap of 10 cm, whereas here there's a gap of not sure how many cm here. So how can we use this? When I see so many letters, right, I will think of, can I use algebra to solve this? Now, in the arrangement shown in figure B, what is the width of the gap at the side? Now, so firstly, what I can see is that this here for figure B is the same as this, which is the height. So this height is made up of 1 length plus 2 length plus 3 length plus 42 cm. This height, which is the same height, is equals to 1 length plus 4 breadth plus 10 cm. Okay, remember 3 lengths plus 42 cm, and this side is 1 length plus 4 breadth plus 10 cm. So they are equal, the height is equal. And so now I proceed to simplify this algebraic equation. Alright, so I know that 4 breadth is actually 180. How do I know this? Well, remember we saw that this part earlier on, right? For this part, this is 2 rectangular boxes stacked with breadth and breadth aside, and this is 90 cm. Since these are all identical boxes, that tells me that if I divide by 2, I get 1 breadth, which is 45 cm. So this is 45 cm, making 90 cm. So now 4 breadth is actually 4 times 45 times 4 is 180. 45 times 4. So I substitute 4b with 180, then plus 10. So 1 length plus 190. Next, I simplify further. I minus 1 length from each side, I get 2 lengths. I minus 42 from each side. Now I have 2 lengths is equivalent to 148 cm. So 1 length is 142 divided by 2 is 74 cm. And that is the length of one box. Now, if this is the length of one box, okay, this is the length of one box. This is 74 cm, is here. This is 90 cm. So the gap here is 90 minus 74. 90 minus 74 is 16 cm, and that's the answer to part A. What's the height of the cupboard in meters? Now this is now simple. Height of the cupboard is just 3 lengths of the cupboard, of the cupboard boxes, plus 42. 1 length is 74, 3 lengths is 222, then plus 42 cm gap. I have the height of the cupboard is in 264 cm. But note, be careful, they told us to express the answer in meters. So I need to convert this to meters, 2.64 meters. Let's divide this by 100 to get your answer in meters. Let's go to the last question now. Now the figure below shows a rectangle with the corners removed. Each of the 4 identical corners removed with a quarter circle. The ratio of the length of the rectangle, which is this is length, to the breadth, which is this breadth, is 12:5. So what's the radius of each quarter circle? Now some of my people say blank. I know it's quite difficult to do this, so sometimes you just try it out. What do you mean I try it out? I know that the ratio of the length to breadth is 12:5. So let me think of what are the possible lengths. Okay, because I know this is 12 units, it's not 12 cm, right? So let's think of this. What could be the possible length and possible breadth? Okay, so it could be really 12 cm and 5 cm. But of course, it's impossible for this to be at 12 cm because this is already 17. So 12 cm is out, right? I can't have this combination here. I can't have this value of 12 cm because this is shorter than even the length of this shaded part. So how can I now increase this? What's the next possible number? I times 2 times 2. I'll have 24 and 10. Let's try this. Is it possible to be 24 and 10? Well, it's possible. But how do I check that it's possible? If this is possible, if this is really 24, if this is really 10, then when I find out this value and this value, these two must be the same. Since this 2 is the same radius of the same circle. And that's what I did. To find the radius from the length, what I did was I used 24 minus 17. I divide by 2, I get 3.5. I'm assuming if this is 24, I minus away 17. That leaves these 2. I divide by 2, I get one of them. I get 3.5. So here is 3.5. Let's calculate for the breadth part. If this is really 10, I minus away 3, I get 7. 7 divided by 2, I get one of them. Also 3.5. So that tells me this is a possible answer. And this is the answer that tells me the length is 24 and the breadth is 10 cm. And this tells me that the radius is 3.5 cm. And that is the answer to part A. Now part B is simple now. What's the perimeter of the shaded part? Perimeter is simply 4 quarter circles plus 2 3 cms plus 2 17 cms. And 4 quarter circle is the same as 1 full circle, right? So formula is pi times diameter. The radius is 3.5. Diameter will be 3.5 times 2. I get 7. And I get 21.98. And you add my 17, 17, and 3 and 3. I get 61.98. But be careful, they told us express answer correct to 1 decimal place. So I round up to 1 decimal place. Okay. Becomes more than 1. You carry over 1 more. I get 62.0. Must remember to write this 0.0 since we are told to express in 1 decimal place. Okay? And that's the end of this specimen paper. I hope this helps you. All the best, your PSLE Mathematics.